Hi guys, my name is Yas and welcome to Finding My Flow. Today I want to talk to you guys about something that I haven't necessarily shared with a lot of other people, but it is something that I've struggled with quite a lot growing up, and it led to a lot of the stress and anxiety that I ended up experiencing in my life. And I know this is something that is commonly experienced by other people as well, so why not talk about it? Growing up, I was not a strong communicator. If I was ever hurt, wronged, or misunderstood, I would simply just not speak up or even try to defend myself. In fact, I would try to avoid confrontation altogether if I could and try my best to just move on and put things behind me. The thing is, I had led myself to believe that I had really good reasons for why I was not speaking up. And some of these reasons were things such as I believed that I was being the bigger person in the situation. I also would question myself and ask, what if I were to speak up and I was going to hurt the other person? Or what if by speaking up, I was going to cause a lot more conflict and disagreement because that person did not want to hear what I had to say? Now, it took me some time to finally realize that the reason why I was avoiding confrontation and conflict was because, one, I was trying to protect myself. My past experiences had led me to believe that if I were to be open with my emotions and come and be like, hey, like you did this and you hurt me, I was putting myself in a very vulnerable position where that person would have even more power to further hurt me. And two, because that was the easiest way to keep everyone happy. I don't say anything, no one hears anything, and so there is no conflict to go about and talk about, and so everyone's happy. Little did I know that everyone did not include me. Yes, everyone was getting what they wanted. Yes, everyone was being heard. And yes, in my head, I was like, if that is what's happening and everyone's getting what they want, then I should be happy and good to go. But that was not the case. I was not being happy. I was not getting what I wanted. I was not being heard. And that really was hurting me to a level that I couldn't even comprehend myself. It was almost like I had this big mess and I thought if I were to put it under the rug, everything was going to be okay and no one would see it and we're all good to go. But at some point, I was bound to trip over that rug. And that's exactly what happened. Anxiety attack after anxiety attack, frustration, anger, and a roller coaster of emotions until I finally hit a point where I couldn't take it anymore. My mental health was at stake. Here's what I've learned so far when it comes to communication and confrontation. It's not easy, it's not comfortable, but it's necessary. And if done right and from a place of love, it can lead to healthier and stronger relationships, which is something that we should all be seeking more of in our lives. If you're watching this and if your experience has been anything like mine, I know that you've struggled and I know that you haven't had it easy and you had to battle with yourself constantly to understand yourself and the situations that you are put in a lot better. But I also want to let you know that it doesn't have to continue to be like this. If there's one thing that I want you guys to take away from this video, it's this. The most valuable lesson that I had to learn throughout this whole process was that before I could ever confront anyone else, I had to first learn to confront myself. There's a lot that we don't know about ourselves, and there is a lot that we avoid to find out, or perhaps we know and we refuse to accept. I refuse to accept that I was a people pleaser because accepting it and saying it out loud made me feel weak because it meant that my actions were controlled by other people's reactions, and therefore I had absolutely no control over my own life. But when I finally did accept that to be my truth, that was when everything changed, because now I knew the source of what was causing me so much anxiety and I could do something about it. Accepting this about myself meant that I couldn't go on to blame other people for how I was feeling, because I was the one not setting any boundaries. That was a pretty empowering aha moment for me, because now I knew I was in control of how I wanted to move forward and how I wanted to show up in the world. I don't want to make this video super long, and there's a lot that I want to cover on this topic, and I will go on to do so in my future videos. But for now, I want you guys to ask yourself this: what is one thing that I need to be confronting myself about today? Because whatever that is, in some way, shape, or form, it's impacting your relationship with other people, but it's also, most importantly, impacting your relationship with yourself. And over a long period of time, it has the potential of impacting every single one of your experiences. My final message for today is this: don't be afraid to look inward. A lot of the time, the answers that we're looking for, we already have them. We just have to be really honest with ourselves in order to understand them. I had to be really honest with myself to understand that a lot of the anxiety and stress that I was experiencing in my life was because I was imposing it on myself. I was giving so much importance to how I was being perceived by other people and how happy I was keeping other people, that I had forgotten how important it was for me to be happy and for me to be heard and for me to like myself. So that led on to so many different things, but eventually when I learned that, I ended up learning what it takes to communicate better. And because of that, I've been able to nurture some of the most beautiful, incredible even relationships that I have today in my life. And most importantly, I have been able to develop so much self-respect and self-love for myself, and I am so proud of the relationship that I have with myself today. And I owe all of that to the fact that I was honest with myself and I allowed myself to look inward, even though sometimes it really hurts to accept certain things to be my truth. But that's what led me to where I am today. Thank you so much for watching this far. It really means a lot to me that you took some time out of your day to hear me out. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with somebody who you really love and care about. And of course, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, as it really does help me stay motivated to make more videos like this. I cannot wait to share more on this topic in my future videos. But until then, I want to wish you guys a heart full of love, a mind full of peace, and a life full of flow.